Hello. Okay. Hello and welcome to today's session. So the topic for today is the agreement of the verb with the subject. So many times I've seen you asking questions on that topic, and I've been telling you all these days, okay, we have a separate session for that. So I think we can have more questions, more interaction today, right? So normally the first thing we see in the agreement of the verb with the subject is singular subjects take singular verbs and plural subjects take plural verbs, right? That's the first common rule. Singular subjects take singular verbs. You see, the peacock dances. Subject verb. The subject, and I think you are familiar with the term subject by now, you should be. The subject is the most important thing in the sentence, or in other words, it is that which the sentence talks about. Now you see, this sentence talks about the peacock, and so the peacock is the subject. And remember, the subject need not be always in the beginning of the sentence. Sometimes, occasionally, we also find the subject at the end of the sentence, I mean after the verb. But the normal order is subject, verb, and then whatever, if there is any object or complement or adjunct, it comes after the verb. Here the singular subject, the singular verb. Now I want you to be very clear with the term singular verb. See, the basic verb is, the base form is dance. But when we add yes to dance, it becomes dances, and then we call this the singular verb, which means dance is the plural verb. So the second thing, the plural subjects take plural verbs. Now the same, peacock, you make it plural, peacocks dance. Plural subject, plural verb. So throughout the session I will be referring to this form as the singular verb, dances, thinks, sees, eats, is, was, they all are singular verbs, and this is the plural form, right? Second one, when two or more nouns, let's say, let's have two, are joined by and, then they take a plural verb. Ram and Sundar are friends. Now here you see, this is the subject. We have two nouns joined by the conjunction and so the subject is plural, obvious. So we have a plural verb. So this much is very easy, or you would have already known this, nothing new to learn here. But here you also find an exception where, say, time and tide waits for no man. Now please listen carefully. Now here also you find two words, time, tide, joined by the word and, but you have a singular verb here. Why? Because you see here both the words time and tide talk about a singular concept. Though the words are two in number, the concept is single. So we use a singular verb which is waits. Similarly, you can say idli and sambar is a delicious food. You can have something else also, like bread and butter. Two different things, but together we talk of it as a food. So we write is and not are. So it's not proper to use are. Idli and sambar, are we shouldn't. It's is a delicious food. Or puri and chana, whatever. Together they are right? So this is an exception here. And again we have an exception in the first rule, singular subjects take singular verbs. No questions from that? Actually I was expecting questions from you, because what about these pronouns I and you? Aren't they singular? I is singular, you we have both the singular as well as the plural. But here these are exceptions. Singular subject, plural verb. Same way you think. So in the simple present tense, I and you are exceptions to the first rule, which is singular subjects take singular verbs. Same way in the present perfect also, see, we use I have instead of has, which is what we normally use for the singular subject. Same way you have. So I and you are exceptions. So this is where people may make mistakes. Not all, but some people, especially the beginners. And now sometimes more than the meaning of the sentence, we go by the form of the sentence. Like Raj as well as Kumar was absent. Now when you have as well as, always remember to use the singular verb. Though the meaning is, see, the subject is plural, we are talking about two persons, Ram and Kumar. But because we use this phrase, we use the singular verb because there's a rule. Instead of this, if you say Raj and Kumar, then definitely you will use the plural verb, which is were absent, right? Let me write that also. The meaning is the same, but the form is different. Then, along with, like as well as, along with, or even simply with. Attends the function. Now attends. So it's as well as, along with, or simply with, and in addition to. All these phrases you have to use the singular verb, right? The screen is not visible, that's okay? Okay. And if there are any questions, please let me know. And if two or more nouns are joined by or nor, tea or coffee. Again, remember to use the singular verb, tea or coffee is served. Not are, because it's or. Then neither he nor his brother listens to me. Now you see, in either or neither nor also we use the singular verb. Neither he nor his brother. But here there's another thing to remember. If you have one of these two nouns plural in form. Now no problem here because this is singular, this is singular, he is singular, his brother is singular. What if one of these two is a plural noun, like I will use either or here. Either he or his brothers instead of brother. Either he or his brothers. Now what should you write here? Listen or listens? It is listen. Why? Because it agrees, this verb agrees with the noun that is nearer to it. See, there are two nouns in the subject. One is he, here this is a pronoun, brothers, but this one is nearer. So it has to agree with the subject that's nearer. Right? And we have the indefinite pronouns. Is there a question? Okay. We have a question from Chandana. We use has for third person singular. Yes, she, he, it. She has 2 pencils. Pencils is plural. Why not have? Now, please listen. She has 2 pencils. What's the sentence? She has 2 pencils. Now we are talking about the agreement of the verb with the subject. See, the agreement of the verb with the subject. I want you to understand the difference between the subject and the object. This is the subject, this is the verb. So it has to agree, the verb has to agree with the subject. So the subject is singular. We need not worry about whatever follows the verb here, right? This may be a singular or plural. She has a pencil or she has many pencils. It does not matter because the verb has to agree with the subject. Is that clear? So we are not talking about this word. It's only the subject. He has 3 sisters. Same way, the same one. See, has is because he, the verb has to agree with the subject. Instead of he has, if the subject is they, then it is definitely have. Regardless of whatever number you have after the verb. They have 3 sisters or they have a sister. So whether this is a sister or 3 sisters, whether this is a pencil or 2 pencils, see, remember to make sure the verb agrees with the subject, and this is the subject. They have a sister, they have 3 sisters. This doesn't change because the subject is they, which is plural, and we use the plural verb have. And that's why I told you about the exceptions also. We use have for I and also you. Even though here the subject is singular, are you all listening? Even though the subject is singular here, I is singular, the you is singular, you is both, no, singular and plural. But when we talk about the singular you also, we use the plural verb. These two are exceptions. Okay. Any other question? Now, in that particular sentence, if you make pencils the subject of the sentence, then you see, we have another question. The long and short of the matter is. The long and short of the matter is, not are, because the long and short of the matter, we mean the essence, the gist, the substance. So, even though we have the word and, it's not 2 different words, like the examples we saw, time and tide, or idli and sambar, bread and butter is his favorite food. We say bread and butter is his favorite food, not are his favorite food, because we don't think of bread and butter as two different things. Suppose you go to the shop and buy them as things, then it's okay, because they are talked of as two different items. I bought bread and butter, or bread and butter are or were bought by me, are or were plural verb. There, bread and butter, you talk about them as two different items, things. But when you talk about that as a food, they constitute food. Bread and butter is my breakfast, right? So similarly, here the long and short of the matter is, which means the gist of the matter is, the essence of the matter is. So we talk about it as a single idea or a single unit, not two different things. So you should not be misled by the word and, right? Okay. Similarly, this one we have already discussed many times. Still, because we are doing this topic, it's important we mention it here too. The performance was funny. Here there is no doubt at all, because this is singular subject. Suppose you add a phrase after performance. The performance of the clowns. The performance of the clowns. So this is a phrase. Again, there is no doubt here. It is still was. Why? Because still the subject of the sentence is performance. So don't worry about the phrase that follows the subject. So sometimes people are confused at this point because they see a plural subject here, plural noun. So they think they don't agree with each other. So it should be where. No way. Still we are talking about the performance of the clowns. If you say the clowns were funny, then that's right. Because you are talking about many clowns. The clowns, plural subject. So plural verb. The clowns were funny. But you are talking about the performance, then remember to use a singular verb. Similar example, the decision is final. Keep posting your questions. In the meantime, you should also listen to what's going on here. The decision of the judges now, same way like of the clowns, the decision of the judges is final, no change. So what is the rule here? The subject, the number of the subject. When I say the number, I mean the singular and the plural. The number of the subject does not change even if a phrase follows it. Still it is the same, because here the performance, here decision, regardless of the phrase that follows it. When I say number, I am reminded of the word number itself. If you say the number, then it takes a different verb. The number of mistakes. The number of mistakes was surprising. Here you are talking about the number, the specific number of mistakes you find. Instead, you say a number. The number is singular. A number of is plural, plural subject. A number of mistakes were made by him. It's not was. Please understand the difference between these two. It's the number, it's a number. The number of mistakes were made, not was made, because you mean a lot of mistakes, a lot of, a number of, a great deal of. All these are plural in form. Your performance is good. Is it correct? Yes, it is right. Your performance, our performance, their performance, my performance, whatever it is, whatever possessive adjective you have before performance does not change the number of the subject, which is singular, because here the subject is performance, which is singular. Knowledge, wisdom, performance, quality, all singular in form. Okay. Then we have the indefinite pronouns. Hope you remember at least a little of the session we did on pronouns. Each, every, someone, anyone, or somebody, anybody. So all these are singular in form. Each of the mangoes. Each of the mangoes tastes good. Why? Each is singular. So this has to agree with the subject. So this is what we call the agreement of the verb with the subject. We have another question from Sanjay Kumar. A family of sparrow nest in the tree every spring. Please explain this. Yes, we will do that. Family, see, that's a collective noun. Collective nouns are both singular and plural in form. It depends on the intention of the speaker. A family of sparrows, it must be a family of sparrows. A family of sparrows nests every spring. What is that? Nests in the tree every spring. No. Now here you talk about the family as a whole unit. So when you talk about the family as a whole unit, it is undoubtedly singular in form. So the singular, the subject is, then no doubt you have to use the singular verb. You see, the family is the basic unit of society. The family is the basic unit of society. Here there's no doubt at all because we use unit. Again, that's another big clue. Now look at this sentence. Their family have agreed to the proposal. Have agreed. Now you see, we have used the plural verb here. Now here you find a singular verb for the same word family. Here too a singular verb, but here we use have agreed because here nothing to do with this possessive adjective. It can be your family or my family, but here you are thinking of all the individual members in the family. So each person has agreed to the proposal. That is what your intention is. So that is why I said collective nouns can be both singular or plural in form depending on the intention of the speaker. So it is right to say have agreed or has agreed. When you think of the family as a whole unit, you say has agreed. When you think of each member, think of them as individual members, then we take a plural verb. Yes? What's the difference? Another question from Chandana. What is the difference between I am always happy to hear and I always happy to hear? The first one is right. The second one is wrong. It's wrong usage. We shouldn't say I always happy to hear. It is I am always happy to hear. Right? When we use be forms. What is the difference? That's the one. That's the only difference. The first is the right usage. The second is wrong. Okay. See why the second sentence, we cannot even call it a sentence. Why it is wrong? Because there is no verb at all. See, the verb is the chief word in a sentence. Without a verb, we cannot form a sentence. Now find out the verb in the second sentence. There is no verb. That's why the sentence is wrong. Don't say to here is the verb. To here is an infinitive. I always happy to hear. There is no verb at all. To here is not a verb. To here is an infinitive. Right? Okay. Yeah, we have some exercises also. Sum of the money, see, same way, sum of can be both singular and plural depending on what follows it. Sum of the money was spent, because money is singular, uncountable noun. You say sum of the students are absent. Now get the difference here. We have some of the in both the sentences, but depending upon this form, we use the verb. Money is singular, uncountable noun, so we use a singular verb. Here students, plural, countable noun, so we use a plural verb. No, okay, right. Similarly, we have most of the book is interesting. Most of the book is interesting. Most of the books are new. Now what's the difference between these two? What's the difference between most of the book and most of the books? Most of the book, we are talking about a single book. A book which you read. Most of the book means most of the book. How to explain, right? Like the same book, many chapters, or most of the chapters you find interesting, right? You're talking about one book here, the first sentence. Here, there are many books, and most of the books of them are new. Most of is same, but again what follows is important. Most of the work is done, because work is singular noun. Most of the work is done. Most of the places have been visited by me. Places have, right? See, in the agreement of the verb with the subject, it is these things that matter more. Otherwise, see, the basic is the first person, second person, third person. We have already dealt with that. There's nothing much to get confused about in that part. Only in sentences like these where you find a singular or plural noun, and then even though the form is plural, the verb is singular. So depending upon which phrase we use, like many. Many means many, but it should be followed by a singular noun. Many a prize is equal to many prizes. Most of you would not have even heard of this usage, because many of us prefer to use many prizes, many days. We don't say many a day, but still it is there. So many a prize means many prizes, plural in form. So we will see what a verb it takes. Now think about this blank, what to fill in here. See, the meaning is many prizes, but the form is different, many a prize. So it takes a singular verb. If it is many prizes, then it is undoubtedly were won by him. Many prizes were won by him, but many a prize was won by him. Is that clear? Many a candidate means many candidates. Many a candidate wishes to get the job. It's only wishes, not wish, because it's this form, many a. Okay, I welcome more questions from you. Whatever doubts you have, please keep posting them. I thought I will get more questions in this session, because when I was doing the other sessions, people were always asking about the verb, subject verb agreement. What's that? This is the question. Okay, we have a question from Sanjay. Your thanks, you tell me, is or are your thanks blank enough for me? Thanks, even though it's plural in form, which means you find an S there, it is singular in meaning, in logic, you see. Your thanks is enough for me. It's not are enough, never. Your thanks is enough for me. Okay, because we don't have a singular form separately for that. Thank, thanks, no. Thank is a verb. But wish, wishes, that's different. Your wish is enough for me, your wishes are enough. That's a different thing. Compliment, compliments, remark, remarks. But here, thanks, it's always singular. So it takes a singular verb. What's that? Question is okay. Right. Then think of this one, 3 miles. Now there's a clue in the sentence itself. "3 miles dash a long distance." Yeah, that's is right. Why? Because see, here you find a plural subject. 3 is plural in number, and you see miles, which is plural again. But why do we use is instead of are? Because again you consider 3 miles a distance, not the number. Like same way the money, see, it's like amount time, measurement, like meters, measurement, weight, hours. 2 hours is a big time. Here again, same way, 2 hours you talk of the quantity, I mean the amount of time. Same way, 10 kilos was lost by her. Was or were, both, but here the weight. This talked of as a single unit, 3 miles. 2000 rupees is too much for this dress. You say 2000 rupees, you don't consider the money as each as a rupee there, 2000 rupees as a single amount. So it is a singular subject, so naturally it takes a singular verb. 2000 rupees is too much for this dress, not are too much. Okay. Can we do some exercise now based on what we have learned so far? Are you ready for the exercise? 5 minutes is enough to do the exercise. Again, you see, 5 minutes is enough. We don't say are enough, because 5 minutes you talk of it as a whole unit of time. 10 days, depending on, see, you complete the sentence. 10 days, we have a question from Bhargav. Bhargav, please make it clear. 10 days is or are long. What is the full sentence? The cause of heartbeats dash been a subject of interest. Is it has been or have been? A few of the men was left behind or were left behind. A struggle to overcome finally successful. Was or were. Are you posting answers? Yes, one from Sanjay. The cause of heartbeats has is right. That's right, because we are talking about the cause. Even though you find a plural noun here, still this talks about this word cause, which is singular in form. So don't be misled by the word that is nearest to the blank, which may be plural in form. Number 2, a few of the men, yes, were right. A few, plural in form. Yes, again has right, yes. Think of the other sentences. The ship with its entire crew and cargo was lost or were lost. Okay. Do we have space to write one more? Shall I write here? It will be too low. Is okay. Neither of stories good enough to publish. Is or are. Third one, her struggle to overcome the illness. Third was is right, yes, no doubt. Talks about the struggle. Now this illness also for that matter is singular, even though you find two s's here, it's not a plural noun. Illness is singular, illnesses is plural. Even if it is illnesses, again it should be was, because we are talking about her struggle. If this had been struggles, then it's okay to use were. Her struggles to overcome the illness were finally successful. If it is struggles, then were. If it's struggle, was. Right? Number 4. The ship. Yes, this was is right. Because still we are talking about, see, this is where you have to be careful, like the sentence with as well as, along with, in addition to, this one also with. It's not, see, it is the ship and, see, if the sentence had been the ship and the crew and the cargo, then it's different, were lost. If you use and, it's were lost, but here because we have used with, even though it's plural in meaning, this takes a singular verb, right? The last one, neither of her stories dash good enough to publish. Is right. Is right. Remember, either, neither should be followed by a singular verb. Okay. More answers. It's not are. Don't think about this form. That may be plural in form, but we are talking about neither means, see, neither, it clearly tells you only two stories, right? If it were many, then we will use the word none. That's different. And none is plural. So we take the plural subject there. If it is none of her stories, or let me do the change here itself. Please listen instead of writing a whole new sentence. If it is none of her stories, here sometimes there are some grammar books which talk about none as a singular subject and a singular verb. It depends. But in many I have found this usage with the plural verb. Though we come across usages like none of her stories is. Sometimes it is accepted in informal English, but when you see formal standard English, then there are certain rules to follow. So it's better to go by the rules in formal speaking and writing. Yes? No question. This one is completely new. It's from dust. Again, what's the most appreciated gift? Was or were? the clothes that you sent us. Now, think about this. The most appreciated gift dash the clothes that you sent us. The question of taxes doesn't or don't arise here. The question of taxes doesn't or don't arise here. Now a sentence with sum of, if you had listened carefully while I was doing this expression, then you will be able to answer this correctly. Some of the fruits has or have ripened. She is one of those people who is or are never late. Yeah, we'll come back to the answers now. Just one more sentence to go. Now one sentence with family. Now number 6, the most appreciated gift was is right. And why? Why not where? Even though the gift is the clothes, which is plural in form, this verb has to agree with the subject, which is gift. So here this is called the predicate nominative. So don't worry about this. It may be a it's singular subject like a phone, a watch, or a plural subject like clothes or books. So don't worry about this. You have to consider only the word that is here. So gift is singular, so it takes a singular verb. Number 7. Now Sanjay, you have given where as the answer for the 6th sentence. So where is not the right answer here, because it has to agree with the word that is the subject, which is singular in form, gift. Okay. Number 7, the question of taxes doesn't. I saw someone having posted that answer doesn't. Yes, doesn't is right. Why? Because it's the question. The question is the subject here and not the word taxes. Number 8, some of the fruits have is right, because this is a plural countable noun. Some of the fruits have ripened. Yeah. Then number 9, she is one of those people. Number 9, Neha, you've typed is. From Kushbu, is R is right. I tell you why it's R and not is. She is one of those people. See, people. See here, this who talks about people, not she. She is one of those people. Which people? People who are never late. Is that clear? See, this one qualifies the noun people and not she. Suppose the sentence is say one of those books is missing. That's different. One of those books is missing because here it has to agree with the indefinite pronoun one. Here it is the people. Which people? People who are never late. What kind of people? People who are punctual, right? The last one, her family dash divided on this point. Now you have not typed the number. Okay, some of you have written 10 is and 10. Now Vishal, and now he has given is. Actually R is right. Why? Because the family, see, the clue we get from this word. Divided, because, see, what does this word mean? They are not unanimous. Like agree is different. If it is agree, then different. The family has agreed. We saw that sentence. So both ways it's right. The family has agreed or the family have agreed. But here it is only are and not is, because here we think of the family as individuals, different individuals, because some people would have said some and some people would have differed, right? So there's a difference of opinion among themselves. So there you cannot consider a family as a whole unit because there's difference of opinion. So they are thought of as single individuals. So it is only are here. You cannot use is. It's divided. The family are divided on this point. And another thing to remember in sentences like this, divided. The usage also has to be consistent. In a same sentence, you cannot use a singular verb at one place and a plural verb at another place when you think of family. The family are divided. So already you are thinking of, you think of family as one unit, a whole unit. So you use, now here, you think of family as different individuals. Divided on, the family are divided on their opinions. So here also it should be a plural, you see, there, not a verb but the adjective, the possessive adjective also has to agree with the meaning. Already you are thinking about the subject as plural. Why? Because you get the clue from the word divided. So the adjective is also plural, there. Suppose it is, instead of divided, you find another word like united or unanimous. Then you will see, instead of there, it should be its. Singular, and here also it's singular. So this is what I mean. It has to be consistent throughout the sentence. It cannot be one here and different one at a different place. Do we have any questions? Yeah. Khushbu wants me to repeat what? 10th one? Take a different example. Our team has won the match. Now you see again, team is another collective noun like family. Another sentence, when you think of it as a plural subject, Now both are right. Now listen carefully. Why both are right here? You think of this as a singular subject. Your team as a whole has won the match. Here you talk about the members of the team individually being awarded. So here you think of the team comprising of many members. So it's okay to say where. It's also right to say was. But in each of these, the meaning differs. That's why I said it depends on the intention of the speaker. What does the speaker intend to say? Seems to correct is divided. Okay. Yeah, many things seem to be right, but they are not right. That's where most of the mistakes arise. Okay. Any more questions? We're almost done with the session. All of your performances, yeah, that's right, good. All of your performances were good is right, because it's the performances, plural, many performances, not a single performance. So it should be were good, not was good. That's right, all of your performances were good. That sentence is right, Chandana. Any more questions? Is I think. Which one? Raja Raman. For which one do you think is? Maybe to Chandana's question. Okay. Okay, if you have one more question from Puneet. Is it correct, although it was raining, but we had the picnic? No, we cannot have both words although and but in the same sentence. It should be either although it was raining, we enjoyed the picnic, or it was raining, but we went for a picnic, right? It should be either of these two words, although, but, cannot have both in the same sentence in English, right? Because I've come across that usage in Hindi where we have both in the same sentence. So I was surprised actually to see that. So because of which I think maybe learners of the English language find it difficult when you come across usage like this. Sometimes, people tend to translate from their mother tongue to English. So that's where you will literally translate sometimes. But in English we don't have this although and but together. Although itself conveys the sense. Okay. Okay, I hope the session would have been useful to all of you. Then you come across any doubts regarding the subject, remember to ask me in the next session. Doesn't matter even though it's on a different topic, because this is very, very important. The agreement of the verb with the subject. If you are thorough with this, you can avoid most of the mistakes we commit in our usage, either while speaking or writing. Okay, spread the word to your friends, because in a month or so we will begin the next batch on communication skills. So whatever you have benefited, whatever you have learned, or just share it with your friends. And sometimes what happens is it's not possible for you to share the exact class. So it's better for the persons to get themselves registered and then attend the sessions fully live. And one good thing about a live session is you have a beautiful chance to ask your questions, get your doubts clarified. It's not like watching a video on YouTube where there's no chance to ask or post your questions, right? Maybe later on you may get answers, but this one is more interesting and more interactive, right? So make the maximum use of sessions like this, and also spread the word to your friends, right? Thank you. See you in the next session. Bye.